Kwa majina naitwa Laban Omusundi, ni mkaji wa Nakuru hii na human rights defender. Na katika mjadala ama the subject matter today is talking about the petition that I filed in the National Assembly in regard to send a motion against the Speaker of National Assembly, Moses Wetangula. Now, what the key factor that informed me to petition for send a motion is in regard to the behaviors of the Speaker of the National Assembly, who is Moses Wetangula, in regard to his public statements, which actually are extremely unbecoming. Remember very well that when the Speaker was in Western Province, akizungushwa na President akiwa Bungoma, Mumias, so on and so forth, she made several statements to which align that she's taking some positions in regard to supporting fully the president politically. Now, number two, he said that she will have to mobilize all the members of National Assembly from Western to be voting in support of the government. Number two, she made a statement that he's a person who will be first in line in terms of making sure that all she's in the defense in line with the president, making sure that all the agendas of the president pass in the National Assembly. And you remember very well before the impeachment of the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, he made a statement actually in line with the support of the impeachment, which actually contradict his position as an arbiter of the National Assembly. Being the speaker requires kind of someone being neutral in his undertaking in matters of National Assembly. Actually, as a speaker, you should not take sides simply because in the assembly we have those people who are supporting the government agenda or who are in the government, and there are those people who are in the opposition. Now, in this course that if you become taking some positions, actually it will be much more appropriate in terms of conducting the affairs of the National Assembly. It's like a judge who is in court whereby there are two conflicting issues that are brought before him or her, and then she decides to take a certain position against a certain party. From that cause, the judge will not give a fair judgment. And in this case, the Speaker of the National Assembly is supposed to give a direction, is supposed to rule within the law. But when she takes a position on a specific sites, then that is somewhere that should not cross the line. So from those developments, it formed me to move to file a petition before National Assembly for the members of Parliament to come up with a send-up motion against the Speaker of the National Assembly. Actually, my purpose of my petition was meant to regulate his unbecoming behaviors in terms of him not being neutral in terms of undertaking matters of National Assembly, both in the public domain and in the National Assembly. Now, in view of that, when I took my petition to the National Assembly, actually it attracted a lot of public interest, and unfortunately, the clerk, I know when you petition when anything that you petition National Assembly in regard to Article 119 of the Constitution, it has to pass through the clerk. The clerk is the counting person who has to review the petition within 14 days, then forward the petition to the Speaker, so that now it can be forwarded to the plenary for further action. Now, in this subject matter, the clerk decided to reject my petition on the ground that there's a standing orders that has given some guidelines, and he relied on those standing orders that requires 14-day not a 3 days notice to the clerk in terms of any censure motion against the speaker. That is the standing orders that he relied on in terms of rejecting my petition. And from my end, when I read that section, that standing orders, I came to in my understanding, it is a standing order that's meant to guide the members of the National Assembly, but it does not deny any person within the Republic of Kenya to file a censure motion against the Speaker of National Assembly, because in my view, the Constitution is supreme, and the Constitution Article 19 has given us a leeway, the opportunity to petition any matter. In fact, Article 119 talks about any matter within the jurisdiction of the National Assembly. And the matter of a censure motion against the Speaker of the National Assembly can only be done by the members of the National Assembly. So I had to approach them. I have that locus stand to approach the National Assembly in the subject matter. So unfortunately, when that letter of his rejecting my petition was sent to me through email, and I received it, and my reaction to it was actually negative, because in my understanding that I found it, the clerk actually, the action that he did was actually to deny me those fundamental rights that are enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya. And actually, I had to make a quick response to his action in terms of rejecting my petition to send the Speaker of National Assembly. And in my petition, I pointed out clearly to the clerk of the National Assembly, informing him accordingly that the Constitution of Kenya is supreme, and there's no other law that can supersede the Constitution of Kenya. In fact, the Constitution of Kenya talks about itself in terms of any law that is made by the National Assembly, by any body in the Republic of Kenya that comes in conflict with the Constitution, then the Constitution remains supreme. And in this case, the right to petition National Assembly cannot be denied by any law, by any standing orders that has been created by National Assembly. Therefore, I informed the clerk of National Assembly to review his decision and to admit my petition henceforth for it to be forwarded to the plenary of the National Assembly for further action. Unfortunately, up to now, I did it last week. Up to now, I haven't received any response from the clerk of National Assembly, and I'm still waiting for any response. Failure to give appropriate response in the subject matter, then I will seek further relief. I will invite the court to seek further intervention in the subject matter to make sure that those clauses, those standing orders that the clerk relied on in terms of rejecting my petition is challenged. And I will request the court to declare that section of the standing orders to be unconstitutionally in line with the interpretation of the clerk of the National Assembly. So that is actually the appropriate action I will take if the Speaker of the National Assembly, and not the clerk of the National Assembly, fails to respond to my letter that I brought him. I forwarded to him in terms of challenging his decision to reject my petition to send the Speaker of the National Assembly. However, this is something that has become in public domain. Some other few individuals have informed me that I'm being used by so and so. I'm informed that Speaker of the National Assembly is a lawyer. So some other individuals telling me why Speaker. But actually, the Constitution of Kenya talks about we have to uphold the Constitution to defend it. So my course and my action is to defend the Constitution and to make sure that all the duty bearers adhere to the Constitution of Kenya. If the Constitution of Kenya dictates that we should be neutral, then we should be neutral. And actually, when dealing with issues that are related, when someone is in public office that requires him to be neutral, then he or she should be neutral. Should not engage in politics. On the other side, he's an arbiter. He's a person who is supposed to mediate between two conflicting functions within the National Assembly, which in the National Assembly we have those people who are in the government and those people who are in the opposition. So the speaker actually should be neutral. And this is something that I'm making application. This is something that I need the Speaker of a National Assembly to be neutral in any matter, whether it's in the public domain or in the plenary. It is his responsibility to be neutral in any matter that is before the floor, in any matter that is the public domain. Actually, and the Speaker of National Assembly should not engage in politics. That is the regulation that are there. That is the Constitution of Kenya that dictates. So this is not my laws. These are laws that we enacted. Yeah, sometimes back in 2010 of the Constitution. And we request the duty bearers to respect the Constitution. And that is actually my prayer and my call to all that duty bearers should respect the Constitution of Kenya that we enacted in 2010.